Hi, I'm Josh Copeland. Number 3, free safety. UB football. And you're in the bullseye.
From here at UB Stadium in Amherst, New York, I'm Paul Peck, radio voice of Buffalo Bulls football, bringing you this week's edition of The Bullseye. It comes following a very tough 31-30 Bulls loss to the Northern Illinois Huskies, a game which the Bulls did a lot of things well offensively, scored with 14 seconds left, but the missed extra point at the end of the game and 5 turnovers, prompting what Jeff Quinn called a very difficult loss. You'll hear much more from Quinn and from the Bulls players following this game. That is coming up in just a moment, but we've also got other sports to talk about. Wrestling season is coming up. We'll sit down with Bulls wrestling coach Jim Buechner.
You're looking for those young guys to close the gap, you know, with the older guys. You're looking for the older guys to lead them, and I see a lot of that happening right now.
We'll go poolside to check in with the women's swimming and diving team.
Last year, Pittsburgh pretty much doubled our points, and this year we came back and beat them by 3, so it was so exciting to see the new team come back and beat them.
We'll tell you about a special honor that a former Bulls football player will be receiving from the New York Jets. But first, more on this football game, a very tough 1-point loss to the Huskies of Northern Illinois, the 5 turnovers, the missed extra point, all factoring in. But Jeff Quinn did learn something about his team.
When I saw them find an uncommon, deep down, rooted passion to fight, and that's what I was. I'll take that as an extreme positive for this football team.
I'm now joined by Bulls radio color analyst Jim Kubiak following this 31-30 loss to the Northern Illinois Huskies, one of the best teams in the MAC, and the Bulls kind of went toe-to-toe with them and had a chance to at least get this game to overtime, which obviously did not happen, but there were a lot of positives for the Bulls, particularly on offense.
Well, offensively, they did everything right, and Chaz Anderson was a huge part of that, over 400 yards passing. He puts up 20 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, and more impressive than that was his ability to evade this pass rush. There was 6 or 7 times they should have been sacked, and he just made incredible athletic plays, great leadership. Can't say enough about his effort.
I mean, the offensive numbers jump out at you, Jim, and a lot of them coming in the second half when the Bulls were playing catch-up, but almost 600 total yards. Anderson throws for 404. Brandon Oliver runs for 112. Marcus Rivers, 10 catches, 114 yards receiving. Alex Nukes, 9 catches, 135 yards receiving. And then throw in Ed Young, who catches the touchdown at the end of the game. Brandon Oliver had a career-high 7 catches. So offensively, a lot of things really worked well. Again, this is kind of the offense that we saw from the Bulls in the Ohio game.
Well, it is. And if you're Alex Wood, the offensive coordinator, and you're coming into a game and you're given the opportunity to take all those statistics, well, that's what you take. I mean, that's a fantastic outing by the UB offense, and you know, they really came together when it counted, and that's what I was really impressed by.
And that's a good sign heading into this final stretch of 4 Mid-American Conference games. Now, on the flip side, Jeff Quinn did not shy away from his disappointment. Not so much with the extra point, which will be sort of the redeeming part of why the Bulls weren't able to win this game, but the 5 turnovers were a much bigger part. And this might have been a different game, as he said, if you give the Buffalo offense 5 more possessions.
Well, we talk about turnovers each and every week, and we talk about the turnover ratio, and when you give the ball away 5 times and don't take it away at all, you know, you really put yourself in a big hole, and Coach Quinn alluded to that. You know, you can't win football games giving the ball away 5 times, but you know, in spite of that, just a tremendous effort from the offensive line. You know, very physical on both sides of the ball, running the football. Bo Oliver goes over 100 yards. The receivers on the outside, some big plays. And then defensively, they did a really good job coming off a tough Temple loss.
Let's not fail to mention the defense holding Chandler Harnish, one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, to over 100 yards under his total offense numbers, which led the Mid-American Conference, especially when the game was on the line. The defense stood up with those big stops down the stretch of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and it was a fun game to call. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was very exciting, and you want to put yourself in situations where you can win in the end, and that's exactly what Buffalo did. They were down 31-10 in that third quarter, but were able to muster themselves back into the football game, and that's what you look for in your football team. And I think Coach Quinn really handled himself well in that post-game interview. Obviously very disappointed to be on the doorstep of tying a football game with Northern Illinois and not executing on special teams. You know, it's difficult. Nobody feels worse than Pete Farden. We know that, and you know it's going to be difficult for him this week, but he's going to get back to work. He's going to do the things that he always does, and certainly it didn't come down to one play today.
All right, well, Jim alluded to it, and now we're going to let you hear it. Here are the post-game comments of Bulls head coach Jeff Quinn and selected Bulls players.
Certainly felt like we did our part to defensively to keep us in the game in the second half. To be down 31-10 and come roaring back. It's just disappointing, missed that extra point at the end, and there's a lot of other things that happened in that game out there today that just is unacceptable. And those are not physical things; those are all mental, and we got to control that as a football team and coaches. Chaz is a great competitor. You saw him today. You saw some incredible plays being made, broken. When things broke down, Chaz found a way. And that's what I've seen in that young man ever since the day I got a chance to meet him. And you saw that displayed out here today.
With him behind the center, it gives us a good, sense of pride. Like, we just always go full speed and everything. And passes be on point a lot. And fortunately, we be able to come up and be successful with some things.
And Chaz puts the ball in a position where I can make those plays. So I can't do it without Chaz. I can't do it without the offensive lineman blocking for Chaz. And Bo runs over everybody. He sets up those passing plays. So I mean you see me making plays, but it's not about me. It's about my teammates.
It's just dealing with adversity. Sometimes that's in the game, and sometimes we're gonna go ahead. We just come back next week and work on those same things that we messed up on.
This is what this program's built on. This program's built on doing the right things. And it's something you do 24/7, 365 days a year. It's a commitment. You make those sacrifices for the good of the team. And that's what it's all about. It's about this team, and every individual has to uphold their responsibility and being accountable, making the right choices.